Priscilla, what made you decide to learn how to weld?
Actually, I've been making jewelry for about, I'm gonna say maybe 9+ years. And if you recall, I showed you an item, a purse.
Yeah,
It
the purse.
actually had some welding techniques on it. And so I wanted to learn welding to master that so that I can improve on my products. I like to create things for individuals, the energy that I feel from the individual. And so in order to do that or whatever, I would have to be able to make the whole object myself and not have to, contract out to
Yeah.
anybody or anything like that.
And it really makes a lot of sense because honestly, with welding, there's one thing I love about it. Welding isn't something that can be put in a box. You don't have to be doing one thing like, oh, I just got it so I can get a job. You can get a job, you can start a business, you can do your own products.
Sure.
It's so much you can do with it where it kind of limits your excuse.
And see, here's the thing that I've learned about welding. Welding is a trade or a skill. So basically, you fit it to your own individual self if you really want to master it. So really, you shouldn't want a job because job is just over broke. You should use that skill to be an entrepreneur.
To be an
To
entrepreneur,
create your own
exactly.
products, to contract, things of that nature.
And that's honestly, that's the way I dived into it. But I like to tell people that's getting started that don't know how to get, like, if you're in a spot where you don't know how to get loans, so you can't get the cash flow right. That's what the welding, you can actually work, get the cash flow, and then do your own thing. It's like, I like to use it like, it's like a means to an end, so to speak. You don't have to have a job at all, but you can just use a job to build your business and then you're done with it. You know what I mean? So if you can't get the finances, you can use the welding. So your plans with the welding when you get done is to build, you're gonna be making, what kind of products you gonna be making? What kind of items you gonna make?
I'll be making purses. I'll be actually learning how to weld stones and stuff into my jewelry because now I just wrap them with either like copper or silver wiring and stuff, which is pretty cool, but it's not very unique. And I also know that I'll be able to make things for your specification. So you can tell me that you want something made a particular way and we draw it out. And then I just knock it out the box.
Okay. And then you said you have a few grandkids that that's kind of been interested on. You want to try to pass down the skill to them to try to show them kind of what you're doing?
Yes. My grandson is 11. He is excited at the fact that I'm into welding. I had to take all my instruments and stuff.
Oh, he wanted to see everything.
Yes, he had on my helmet telling me like, oh yeah, I could like this or whatever. So of course, by nature, we should teach our children every skill or trade that we learn because it'll be a benefit to them. So I'm looking forward to, once I master this and get my equipment, having the opportunity to have him work beside me as a helper and stuff so that he'll grow more interested in it.
And you know what, it's cool that they get it so young because you got to think if he's 11 and he can graph it before he's even a teenager, what his life can be, he can have a cash flow. Well, he's doing other things, but he got a cash flow.
Exactly.
He's like, yeah, I can do this and this, but I got something I've been doing since I was 11.
Exactly.
Everybody can't say that.
Exactly.
So that's a big thing. And my grandmother taught me, man. But I want to say this though, before I forget, because my grandfather taught me my first trade. So it's ironic that his grandmother is teaching him his first trade, and my grandfather taught me how to cut hair. He went to the military, and he got out during World War II. And I ended up getting a nice little vehicle where he started becoming a taxi, pretty much like a taxi cab for the town he was in. He would take people to go get their medicine, see the doctors. So that was part of his business. And then he cut hair from home.
Okay.
So he did that, and he did like home trips, like go to their house and fix them up.
Okay, and see our background, we're in Puerto Rican, and we're from the island of Puerto Rico. So of course, most people there are entrepreneurs. So I come from an environment of entrepreneurs, like everybody had their own skills, their own ability. Like my mom sewed, crocheted, knitted. She taught us all of that when we were young.
Okay.
I dabbled in it when I had children, of course, for our own personal things or whatever. But now I look around and I'm like, yo, people are making like thousands of dollars off this skill.
I'm talking about, I seen another lady the other day was selling quilts. She was making that people was getting from her because they was handmade. And the way she was doing it was so talented. You wouldn't even think it was handmade. You thought this got done by a machine or something.
Oh, man, it's interesting you should say that. Her name is Laura, and she's here in Arkansas. She made a quilt for me for my daughter for her birthday. Wow. And like you're saying, beautiful,
like it was,
okay?
It was unreal.
And actually, my daughter told her the different colors and gave her a design concept, and she made it exactly like what she had asked her for. So you're right, it is best to have a skill or a trade that you can master and you can utilize to create you some revenue, because the system we live in is steady falling.
It's steady falling.
And if you don't have any skills or trades, you're gonna be left out of a lot of stuff.
Most definitely.
Even if you can't do it for money, you can always barter.
You know what? It's ironic that you said that. I was literally talking to some people over the weekend, and I was like, if you don't have a trade, what do you really have? I said, because even in the days way before currency, they had the blacksmiths, they had the people that did make houses and shoes and knew how to tend to animals. And you got, what kind of skill do you have? Because that's what they bartered with. You know, okay, I'm gonna give you some, I'm gonna bring some of my goats and this over here to you. I need you to come out here and weld this so and so up for me. You got a skill. True. And it's worth. It can feed your family. You ain't got to go. They bringing goods over. So, but because I really believe with the way that the world is going, if anything happened and have to reset, that's gonna be the foundation of it. It's gonna be what you know. And I like to tell people, the rich got the money, but they don't have the skill set.
No, that's why they have all.
That's why they got us.
Jobs.
With jobs, because you got to think about it. If things went down, they can't take care of themselves.
No, they can't.
But we can.
True. Well, it's been embedded in us from the very beginning, or whatever. I think those are divine skills that the Most High has put in us as a people. It's in our DNA, you know, in our melanin or whatever. Yes, so we have the ability to master anything under the sun, because everything that everybody utilizes came from us. It's a knowledge that has been stolen from us. So we're thinking that we acquired these things from other entities or individuals, but actually it all came from us. I mean, even if we go back and we study slavery times or whatever, a lot of the slaves invented a lot of the things that we utilize now.
You had to.
But what was going on was that it was stolen from us.
It was stolen from us.
Okay, and somebody else took credit. So now we look back at these families, as you were saying, that have this money, and the money that they're making is off of the backs of our ancestors from the things that they've stolen, and they're still stealing our things. You know what I mean? But that's why we have. It's
ironic too that you say about what was in our DNA from who we are, from our ancestors, because one thing about welding that a lot of people don't know, that black people created welding. We was the first that ever did anything to do with soldering something together, and that's welding. To put two things, to bond two things, and this go way back to ancient Kemet, which was before Egypt, before Egyptian and all that. It was already in the process of bonding metal, of bonding things and making things whole and creating things. So it's been a part of us.
Yes.
You know, and it was just ironic that you said that, because a lot of stuff a lot of knowledge will lay dormant until someone wakes it up.
That's true.
You know, so I think each generation we have to wake up the next generation. You know, so that way it's been here. You just didn't know nothing. You know, we didn't know anything about it. So even now, us doing this, like the knowledge that you're getting on welding, it's like you're waking up your spirit to learn something new, but it connects with what you're already doing.
Exactly.
So it was like it goes hand in hand. It never changed. It never changed. So now you're thinking you're learning it, but this was connected to something that I had a passion for. Now I got a different skill set to achieve what I'm trying to do. So it's just ironic how we can go back and use past and make it present.
Because really there is no such thing as past, okay? Because we're in the now. If you pay attention, you can't go back to yesterday and you can't go to tomorrow. So we constantly live in the now. But because we've been given the concept of what is called time, when time is infinite in reality, then we kind of categorize it or whatever and stuff. But it's just important to link into like the universe, because the universe has the information to everything that is around us or whatever. So if you have the ability to raise your vibration and link into that, then you can tap into anything. You can acquire any skill. Anything. You can master any thought. Like, you actually bring your thoughts into reality when you think about it, you know, but we don't have that concept. And I'll give you an example, like a car. You go to the car dealership, you see a vehicle, you make up your mind that that's the vehicle you want, so automatically you start to manifest the process that's going to get you that vehicle. So it all began from the thought. So we have to learn that once you create the thought, it's about applying it and not procrastinating. I think that what kills us, especially as a people, is that in a lot of instances we procrastinate, and that we've been taught to be fearful. And the definition of fear is false evidence appearing real. So when you recognize that it's an illusion that has been given to you, and if you leave it or let it go and fear not, then you can do anything that you so desire. So that's really another reason why I'm into welding, because I've heard comments, oh, well, your age, you're this, you're a woman, you're that. But I don't have those kind of boundaries. I don't believe in those principles. My principles is that I will, I can, and I shall. And so I roll.
And you
on
doing it. And you
Yeah.
doing it. This is third week now, and you a welder. You welding good.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta brush my shoulders up.
Pump your collar a little bit. Ain't nothing wrong with it because you're doing good. And you know what? It's something I want to say before we end the video. You said about standing still. And I heard a gentleman say something that has stuck to me, and I read this book, and this was from T.D. Jakes. He said something that has always stuck with me. He said that stagnancy is the enemy of progression. I didn't understand it then, but I get it now. If you stand still, you'll you'll never go nowhere. You got to keep it going. And you might think, oh man, I'm good right now. But just like a good car or something that's real good, if it sit there and you don't drive it and you don't do nothing to it, it goes down. So the reality of it is, if you got something and you're not using it, it's gonna deplenish.
Very true.
All gone, y'all be blessed.